Today's Lunch and Learn is an overview with the Leica RTC360, different models and different options with Jeremy Kippen. We always love hearing from Jeremy. He's one of our folks down in surveyors down in the Las Vegas office at Kuker-Ranken. And of course, it is another Wednesday at noon, and we're set up for yet another Lunch and Learn. So, Jeremy, we're just going to turn this right over to you so that you can start sharing information about the RTC360 with folks, and I'll be back at the tail end.
Awesome.
Take it away.
Thanks, Douglas. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. It's not morning anymore. Thank you all for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Like Douglas said, my name is Jeremy Kippen, and I am based out of the Las Vegas office here. So we're going to dive right into this. We are doing the RTC360 today, both options here. I'm going to start sharing my screen. All right, everybody. So like I said, we are going to be talking about the RTC360. Now, many of you who are familiar with the HDS world, such as scanning with the P series, you know, the P40, P50 scan stations, BLK360, the BLK to go. This kid right here is another piece of equipment, another module, as if you will, to the HDS world. About myself, my name is Jeremy Kippen. Here's my contact information, my email, my LinkedIn page, just a little bit about me. If you guys are unfamiliar with who I am, I surveyed for 8 years in northern Utah for a couple different surveying firms. I am very well versed with different GPS surveying solutions. I've been working for KR a little over 3 years now in their sales and tech support division. And of course, I'm based in Las Vegas. So now back to this kid. RTC360 was introduced in 2018 at Hexagon Live. Part of their initiative as to why they brought this forward was they wanted to give consumers a different option, you know, the consumers that are not surveyors, that weren't looking for a P-series scanner, but they were needing something with as much quality as they possibly could get. So entered in the RTC360. Few things about the RTC360 that is really, I think, one of the coolest features that you get is the fact that this will scan up to 2 million points per second. And you can get a full scan done in under 2 minutes, which is honestly incredible when it comes to the fact of you have a lot of work to get done in one day. And it may be a project where you have to fly in, capture all your data, and then leave. That can be time consuming. I know I've been there on projects and you question if you've actually gotten all of your data. The other thing was this was to simplify a workflow. It was to eliminate some chokeholds that happen with the scanning world. I'm sure a lot of you know that you scan everything and then you start bringing it into the office and you got to clean up your data. You got to register it. You got to tie everything together. Nice thing with the RTC360 is there have been some additional technology that has been added to this to help alleviate some of those choke points. I'm going to cover that here. So first thing up front is you can see I have on my PowerPoint here the high dynamic range, the HDR images. So as you can see here, apologies here. As you can see, it may be hard, but I have 5 12 megapixel cameras all the way around and 3 12 megapixel cameras that actually take the images. What's actually happening here? So the HDR images are captured through these 3 cameras here. Oh, thanks, Douglas. The HDR is captured through these 3 images right here, or 3 cameras. And that is what is giving you your panoramic view. Secondly, these cameras here along the sides, and we have one up top. These are the viz cameras. This is what allows, so once you initiate your first scan, and you are moving to your second point, it is looking at what was previously scanned and moving on to your next scan. It is looking for like information. So point cloud to point cloud, everything is tying together. So when you are registering your data through Field 360, it is allowing you to actually verify your data that you are scanning right up front, and making sure that you've got everything you need before you move on to your next setup, which when you've got a large project, it is a very excellent thing to have. Excuse me while I set my screen share back up. All right. Now, many of you are wondering why the RTC360, why, who's it good for? What, I mentioned that it is not for, or it was for the non-surveyors, and that is exactly true. While I do have surveyors that use this, the other focus was for entities such as law enforcement, construction, doing as-built, checking what was built to the BIM file, also industrial plants going in, they need to do retrofits, or they're wanting to do asset collections and see what is actually there. This device has been able to give everybody quick, on the go, on the fly view of their data. And move forward here. So with that being said, yes, this is the RTC360. There is a little brother to the RTC360, and it is the RTC360 LT. This was designed as a midpoint scanner to really bring in what previously was designed for the RTC360 with a few minor changes. The RTC360 LT does not carry any Viz technology. This was to keep a mid price point between what the BLK360 was. If a lot of you are familiar with the BLK360, you scanned with the BLK360, you then registered your data as you moved along. It did not have any Viz tech. However, the points with the BLK360, you scanned up to 360,000 points a second. With the RTC360 LT, you have the ability to scan up to 1 million points per second. That is 1 million points less than the RTC360. However, you are still getting as quality of data as the RTC360, but you do need to register your data, but that's never been an issue. It's easy. You've got 2 different views. You can move everything together. And for those people who are they're needing to get into the HDS world, this is a great entry level, in my opinion. Aside from the BLK 360, the G2 is a phenomenal instrument. However, for those that are needing a bit more horsepower for the engine, the LT is a perfect variant to the fleet. And so I've had a slight technical difficulties today. The application and my phone are not wanting to communicate with the RTC360, but I'm actually going to pull this over here. Let me move my chair out of the way. And so a lot of you, it's going to be very difficult to see, but on here we have an onboard screen where you have the option to remote control it with, say, your phone in Cyclone Field 360, or if you're unable to do that for some environmental reason, you can control everything from your scanner right here. So first things first is we want to create a new job. And so right now I've just created a new job. The setup, we're going to scan in 2 minutes and 41 seconds. However, we're not going to do everything we need to do. We are going to do one scan with a low resolution with our images. And we are actually going to push to play, push to go, and we're going to let it take off. So what's happening is it's going around, checking the environment, analyzing everything before it actually starts its scan. And it's going to rotate a full 360 degrees. And now it is going to start. It's going to start scanning. I did bump the leg and it said there was an external force detected, but it is now clearing out. And if any of you guys can hear that whirring noise, yes, that is 2 million points per second. And the scheduled time for this to complete the scan was 1 minute and 26 seconds, full scan with images. Scanning is complete and now is going to go around and it is now going to start taking pictures. And so while we're waiting for this, I am going to open it up for any questions at the moment. So if you got questions, go ahead, drop them in the chat box, email me, text me.
I haven't seen any questions come through on the Facebook side or the chat side here.
Okay.
But one of the, if I owned an RTC 360, Jeremy, what are some of the best tips you could give me for use?
Ooh, that is a great question. And I'm actually going to answer your question with another question real quick here. It really would depend on the type of work you were doing, but for best practices, in my opinion, is, lost my words for a second. Best practice for me would be to make sure you are in a non-polluted environment. By that, I mean dust, no external weather such as rain, snow, that can really impact it. If you have a lot of metallic shiny objects, that would actually affect your scanning. Mirrors, such, down here in Vegas, we have a lot of areas with mirrors and pools. Pools will definitely affect your laser beam. It's an invisible laser beam that is scanning, and you can have some variations in your scans. Now, that's kind of a roundabout way there, Douglas. We can discuss it even more if you'd like.
No, you got some questions coming in now over
right.
Facebook. First of all, one of the questions is, or one of the people that's watching says, you're not using a tri-brack on that system. Why not?
So nice thing about this is you do not have to use a tri-brack. With your P scanners, yes, you need to use a tri-brack. In here, there is an internal compensator, and it will compensate to what is level, but also visually, you can see where you are visually level. And how this actually connects is you've got a quick release, and make sure I do not drop it. So you have an adapter here that this mounts to. We can use a tri-brack with an adapter if needed, if we need to get much tighter precision. That tighter precision is really going to be targeted towards the surveyors and the engineers. Architectural scanning, this is perfect.
Next question that followed up is, do you need a special tripod for this system?
Special tripod would be this one, but you can use, as mentioned earlier, you can use a traditional tripod with a tri-brack, and you would have the adapter as well. Or there's two different adapters. One can be screwed on with your bell housing with your tripod, or you can use a tri-brack with a different adapter.
Excellent. Another question just come in from one of our people here. What is the range of the scanner, and does the surface that you're scanning affect the range?
So surface can affect your scans. Like I mentioned earlier, shiny metallic objects such as mirrors, pools, bodies of water will definitely degrade your quality. Sometimes really nice finished asphalt can affect that, but those are about the biggest surfaces that affect it. And I am cheating here. I'm looking at my notes because this is a lot of stuff to remember. but the range of the scanner is, oh, I just lost it. So your range is 130 meters, up to 130 meters. Thank you, Mac. I see you just dropped it in there.
Another question that's just come in, Jeremy, is to what degree will it self-level? So how unlevel of surface could you operate on?
Last I have heard was up to 5 degrees plus or minus.
Yeah, I've got, I can see someone on Facebook. Someone on Facebook is typing in here.
It is now 10 degrees plus or minus.
10 degrees? Okay.
10 degrees. I stand corrected. It was 5 and it moved up to 10.
So the question from Facebook is, are you able to register scans together via the tablet application?
Yes, you can. It is a very simple process.
Okay. And you sort of answered the next one. Is the application easy to use?
It's very, very easy to use. It is what I know it was kind of difficult to see, and let me see if I can actually find an image of what we would be looking at. But the application is very easy to use. It's minimal buttons, and what you see on the tablet is actually 1% of the data that is actually scanned. What I failed to mention earlier is the RTC360 does scan and store all the data on like a USB stick. It does not transfer the data over to your phone. So when you're actually viewing the data, you are viewing a live stream of your data. You can go in there 3D and view everything and slice your data. All right.
Excellent. Another question, this one's from someone here at this conference that we're attending right now, is this a scientifically calibrated instrument and will it hold up in court?
It will. It is a scientific instrument. We have had several customers who do have this and have put it up against crime scene investigations, and it has held up in court. I can't really share much particulars beyond that, but I can say, yes, it is a scientific instrument.
Well, I believe you've delivered a few of those to police departments around the Western United States.
We have, and we got another one coming in the next week.
Outstanding. That's all the questions I've seen come in thus far over our Facebook or chats here. Give folks another 15 seconds or so to put any questions into the chat box if you've got something there.
Yep. I do see one. I don't know if we got this one answered. Is saying, what impact does rain have on the quality of the scans? I would recommend to not scan in the rain. Unless you absolutely have to. If it is a crime scene, wait for a nice clear day, partially cloudy. Weather such as rain and snow can affect your scans.
Yeah, I don't imagine you'd be able to get much of any kind of a scan out of if you're in active rain.
No.
The laser is going to reflect off the raindrops and give you all kinds of math.
Yeah. Oh, so I see another one here. How important are the images? It seems just extra data. Yes, it is extra data, but the images actually allow your point cloud to be colorized. If you went with no images, your point cloud is going to be a grayscale. You're just going to see black and white. The point cloud or the images do add your color, but also you can create a 3D panoramic view with your images. So when you go into the scan, and like I said, unfortunately, I had some technical issues, so I couldn't show you what I wanted to, but your images are important unless there is just a project that you don't deem them necessary, and that is up to the user.
Okay. One of the questions that just came in, Jeremy, this is coming from an engineer that's scanning existing structures, and the question is, what accuracy are the point data?
The accuracy of the point data, so you are, and there are different tiers to this. The range accuracy is 1 millimeter plus 10 parts per million, which I'll admit, that's like gibberish to me sometimes. And I will fully admit that. I know I've got one of my other scanning experts in here who maybe could elaborate a little bit more on that, Mac, if you could, I would appreciate it.
I'm not sure. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if you wanted me to type it in or just say it, but
just speak, please.
I mean, for as building and what an engineer would do, the easiest way to put it is it seems to be the baseline everybody tests their scanner off of now. So that in of itself tells you about its accuracy. It's one of the, in my humble opinion, one of the best ones on the market as far as accuracy goes.
Right.
The range noise on it is the big killer for most scanners for me, and it has none.
Yep. Yeah, it's the range noise that I'm looking at is 0.4 millimeters at 10 meters and 0.5 millimeters at 20 meters. So, I mean, noise is next to nothing.
Jeremy, another question came in, and this will be an easy one for you. What software do you need for final processing?
Final processing to fully export to an LAS file or an E57 file, you need what is called Register 360. And this is what you go into to clean up your data from your scan. And again, it is another software that is extremely user-friendly, very easy to use. Matt Kowalski has actually done a lunch and learn on that in the past. And so if you want to check out his lunch and learn, you can learn quite a bit from Mac. He's very well versed with that software.
Once you get the initial output, you can put it into whatever software you'd like to put it into, right?
Correct. You can put it into AutoCAD. You can put it into, there's another one called 3DR. You can, any post-processing software beyond Register 360 you can use. Oh, see another one coming in. Can you use it in Infinity? Yes, you can actually use scan data in what we call Leica Infinity. It is the post-processing software for the surveyors, but in the last year, there has been updates to the software that they now piggyback Register 360 in the background, so you can use it to clean up your images that way as well. So if you already have Infinity, you do have the ability to use Infinity to clean up your scanning data.
All right. Well, Jeremy, that's the last of the questions I think that have just come in. And we're real close to time here. Is there anything you'd like to share with folks before we?
Well, I appreciate everybody swinging in. That was a lot of questions today. I was not prepared for that. I should have been, but hopefully I was able to get everybody's information, everybody's questions answered, relay a little bit of information. And, you know, if you guys got questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am more than willing to help you. If we need to set up some demos, you want to rent something, please reach out, give us a call. All right.
Great. Well done, Jeremy. Well, folks, we appreciate you being here as part of our weekly Lunch and Learn series. This video will be up on our website by Friday or Monday for you to be able to review if you need to rewind or look for anything else that's there. Of course, you're going to want to check out our upcoming Lunch and Learn sessions that we have, as we have these every single Wednesday at 12 o'clock. So next up, oh, I don't have my next up page there, but it looks like you've been given the link to all of our existing Lunch and Learns. There we go. I've got our next up coming in here. The internet is quite slow at this conference center where we are. So next week, we've got the Leica Rugby Rotating Lasers, the series with Kyler Gould, and he's up in our Portland store, so we'll have him next week. And then the week following that, on July 19th, as we are skipping the 4th of July weekend, we've got Jeremy Kippen back with us, Jeremy, with the GS20 and GS18. Woo! And we're really excited as well for the photogrammetry and LiDAR discussion with Brady Reich coming up on July 26th. So there's some really great topics that are coming your way. We look forward to seeing you all at upcoming Lunch and Learns. Thank you for being with us here today. We'll see you all next week. Until then, be safe out there, everybody.
Thanks, guys.